Hey guys, I am CJ, and you know what? I'm going to be changing my name. If Bob Chipman can put movie in front of his name, then screw it. CJ the Comic Guy. So I thought today would be kind of fun to do a bit of a rundown of my 10 favorite comics. Now keep in mind these are comic books that were around when either I was a kid, before I was born, so they were a part of my childhood, or when I was a teenager. Now, just because you don't see your particular favorite comic book on this doesn't mean I think it's bad, it just didn't make the list for whatever reason. Also, keep in mind that, again, yes, this is from my own personal childhood and teenage years, which means that my tastes have changed somewhat over the past several years from then until now. And also, please keep in mind that just because something is at number 10 doesn't mean that I think it's bad, it's just kind of there. So let's get started. Number 10, A Death in the Family. Now, I know what some of you are probably thinking, but CJ, that's a Batman story, and you're right, it is. But it also marks the death of my favorite Robin, Jason Todd. So, to a certain extent, yeah, I don't really like the story. I mean, it is, of course, one of my favorite stories because of how creative it got and because of how creative DC Comics allowed the writers and artists to get. But at the same time, it does mark the death of one of my favorite characters. So, with that being said, it's at number 10. Number 9, Blackest Night. Now, this storyline was amazing, fantastic, awesome. There's really very little wrong with it that I could name. However, with that being said, it didn't get to number 1. And yeah, okay, my number 1 is biased, which you'll see when I get there. But overall, yeah, I really do love Blackest Night. So with that being said, there's not really much else I can say. It just got put at number 9 because it wasn't, in my opinion, as good as the ones that got 1, 2, and 3. Number 8, Nightcrawler, the 1980 series. Now, some of you have probably heard me talk about this before in the A History of Comic Heroes episode for Nightcrawler, about that 4-issue miniseries. And, okay, granted, technically I haven't read the last one, but the first 3 were really good and they made me laugh, so yeah. There's actually nothing really else I had for that. I just kind of like those 3 issues. Number 7, JSA Strange Adventures. Okay, yeah, I know technically this is a series and not a comic book event, but it is still really good, and for anyone who is a fan of the old school Justice Society, or even the new Earth 2 Justice Society, I would highly recommend go picking it up. It's definitely one of the best series that the JSA Comics has ever had, and I can almost guarantee that you will enjoy it as well. It has fantastic artwork, fantastic writing. No reason why it shouldn't get a number 1, except the thing that got number 1 has a closer place in my heart. So, yeah. Number 6, Kingdom Come. Okay, some of you have probably heard that I am a huge fan of Alex Ross's artwork. With that being said, it shouldn't really be any surprise that Kingdom Come and kinda sorta Earth X, Universe X, and Paradise X also managed to get this spot. So they all kind of tied, I guess. Kingdom Come was really good and created a whole new take on the Earth 2 Justice Society characters, and even introduced some new ones, so that was fantastic. However, apparently it took place in Earth 22. I'm not really sure what DC was going for there, but yeah. Number 5, Crisis on Infinite Earths. Now, as much as I love the multiverse, this series of books took things to a whole new level. Almost everyone got killed off and or was merged into their Earth 1 counterparts, and we were told that this was big game changers. DC was changing the rules, and they were going to stick with them for a little over 2 years anyways. Due to pocket universes and elsewhere titles like Kingdom Come, Crisis on Infinite Earths, I feel kinda needed to happen to give everyone a break from the multiverse, and we are all really glad when it returned. So, yeah. Number 4, Earth 2. And with that being said, this is probably one of the few things in the new DC New 52 multiverse that I don't have a problem with. Except for Alan Scott being gay, you f***. But aside from that, I really don't have a problem with it. I mean, the stories are great. I always look forward to reading the next issue. And right now, it's been heating up a lot. In fact, I'm kind of wondering if Earth 2 is going to hit a dead zone at some point, which I'm really hoping isn't going to happen. But with all the climax that has been building up, well, eventually things do need to settle and cool down for a while. You know, what would actually be really nice is to finally see them form, or start to form, the Justice Society of America. I'd like to see that. Anyways, number 3, the Dark Phoenix Saga. Of course this one had to be in the top 3. Why wouldn't it be? The Dark Phoenix Saga was one of the most epic sagas in the Marvel Universe and in the X-Men universe. This took things to a whole new level, which Crisis on Infinite Earths had helped to set a trend of doing. And with this, Jean Grey died, kind of, depending on whether you go with the comic book version or the 90s cartoon version, and also showed how much power Jean Grey had acquired from joining minds with the Phoenix. Number 2, Adventure Comics. More specifically, the Adventure Comics that took place in between the years of 1984 and, well, before the New 52. Adventure Comics were really good, and, well, were pretty much the comics where the Earth 2 universe resided, and sometimes other Earths as well. So with that being said, yeah, I really enjoyed Adventure Comics, especially when Alan Scott, Jay Garrick, Hourman, Sandman, or many of the other classical Justice Society characters would show up. So yeah, that was always great. And finally, number 1. Okay guys, so this was really close. Number 1 is, of course, Under the Red Hood. Yeah, I know you're all surprised. Bite me. Under the Red Hood was so popular that it even got its own spin-off movie, which really was disappointing, at least compared to the book. They cut out so much stuff like Mr. Freeze, and they really shortened down Dick Grayson's role in it as well. There was also the kind of killing off the climax where it was revealed that Jason Todd was the new Red Hood. And I will say this, I really enjoyed the trade paperback, mainly because it also included 2 other issues, not Under the Red Hood issues, but 2 other Batman-related comic book issues that had Jason Todd in them. I'm not going to tell you which ones because, well, I honestly feel that you should go out and buy it and read it for yourself. If nothing else, those 2 issues make it worth it, even if you didn't like the Under the Red Hood. Oh, it also shows one of the assassins from Ra's al Ghul's squad kind of defected and tracking down Jason Todd for some unknown reason. Anyways, so that's my top favorite. Next week, the top 10 unfavorite comic book events. In other words, the ones that I hated the most. Guess I'll see you guys later.